How's it going, you guys? So I have not been doing a very good job of keeping up on my YouTube postings. I know that I got the channel started just last week, and really to be able to get YouTube to push you into the algorithm, you gotta, I guess, make like 3 videos a day every day for God knows how long before you finally start to pick up some motion with it. And I clearly have not been sticking with that. Mental health has played a little bit into that. The past couple days I've been struggling. I've recently come to some self-realization, some self-accountability situations where I had to realize that my trauma, things that I've been through in life, things I have thought that I have overcome, are in fact absolutely affecting everything all the way down to my decision-making process and how I choose to approach people, or the space that I allow others to be able to approach me in. And I have become so, I don't know how to word what I'm looking for. I have become so anal about my personal space and my specific safety and keeping myself protected in this lovely little bubble that I've created to protect myself, that I have not allowed anybody even the chance to remotely get anywhere near it. And I've become a little bit angry with it, and I'm finally starting to realize what people have been meaning when they're telling me, like, Janice, you're fucking angry, you're pissed, like you're letting this run you. And I'm like, no, I'm not, blah, blah, blah. I'm protecting myself. I'm keeping all the bad people away. When in fact, I was becoming, as a woman, so far into my masculine that it was ruining a lot for me, a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances for love and friendship and peace and happiness. And my nervous system was so, it still is, not was, like, oh, I just magically got over it in the past couple of days, but my nervous system is so dysregulated that it literally is just, it's making choices for me long before that choice is even there to be made. And realizing some of these things, and realizing that a large amount of my life, the majority of people that have been in it are people who just epically hate me or dislike me. And as I'm sitting there trying to figure out why they're treating me this way, or why they're talking to me this way, or why they're cheating on me, or why they're hitting me, why they're literally trying to kill me. Oh, but they say they love me. And after so many years, my body, like my mind, just related that to love and acceptance. And I don't, as much as internally I knew that's not what it was, that's what everybody on the outside externally was telling me. Like, oh no, you're just being crazy. It's fine that this is happening to you. It's your reaction to it that's the problem. And then I became so traumatized by all of that, because I knew, like, there's no way this is up. There's no way this is this, that knowing something's not right and people telling you that it is right, like that eventually starts to cause a dysregulation. And then you start to question, am I the problem, or are they the problem? Am I the problem, or are they the problem? And after a good 30 some odd years, I just accepted it was me. It was me. I was the one that was the issue. My reaction to it was the problem. It was never what they were doing that I really truly, like, I knew I was mad about shit. I was upset about things. I was triggered by things, but ultimately, even on this healing journey, I still came back around to, it's just ultimately my fault. Where I'm finally coming to now is, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It is not my fault at all that they were shitty people who clearly didn't love themselves and were absolutely incapable of loving somebody else. Something about me really pisses people off. It gets under their skin. It drives them insane. And I really think it is my capability to try to be my most authentic self in every situation, in every moment possible. I don't give a shit what anybody out here thinks about me. I really fucking don't. Unless you're paying my bills, you're laying your head on my pillow, you're my partner, you're my kids. I don't care about your evaluations of me. I don't care what you think about me. I literally have no fucks left to give at this point in life. Like, none. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Because I've come to realize, at the end of the day, you're going to judge me. Either you're going to like me or you're going to hate me, but it's still a fucking judgment. And really none of it has anything to do with me directly, because the only person that knows me completely, fully, 100% is me. Everybody else gets an external experience of you. And whether that experience is good or bad usually correlates with the response to the exchange that's happening and what you're internalizing yourself. So if you know, there's people that I meet them right away and it's instant standoff, and I know that these people are like, nope, you're a threat to me, and now you're meeting an aggressive version of me because now I know to keep you away, or vice versa. And when you're trying to live your truth, when you're trying to live in your most authentic vibrational self, when you're trying to not hide who you are, how you feel about things, your reaction to stuff, your thoughts on it, when you're not trying to buffalo any of that and you're just trying to accept yourself as you are, it really disrupts a lot of people because we live in an imaginary world where perfection, which is a fucking illusion, is what people strive to have the most in their life. And they will live that illusion to make themselves believe they're living a perfect life. And if you come in and you disrupt that anyway, as in, you're a person who doesn't play that perfectionist game. You don't pretend like it's always going to be perfect. You're going to come in and disrupt their vibration, and they're just not going to fucking like you. And I've had to come to realize that's not a me thing. That is not a me thing. I cannot be anybody other than who I am. I can grow, I can evolve, I can self-evaluate and hold myself accountable, and I can work on things internally and work at becoming a better person every single day. But I have no control over how people receive me. I have no control over how people treat me. And it's up to me to discern whether they're genuinely in my life for the good of being in my life, or if they're in my life because there's something about me that just really pisses them off and they have to figure out a way to destroy it. Sadly, those have been the ones in my life. And I never learned what self-love is, or what other people respecting you is, or what real love is. I never knew it. I had the illusion of what I believed it was in my head, but I've never really actually experienced it. But recently I have been around somebody who has been kind. Like I cannot think of another way to word it at this time, because I'm still struggling to process it, because I've never experienced this before. I have never been so safe in somebody else's space to be able to be me without judgment. And this is probably one of the weirdest experiences of my life. This is one of the most confusing, I'm about to cry, one of the most confusing times of my life, because like I'll do something or I'll respond, and even in a defensive manner, because my nervous system literally runs my life, I've learned. And they let me thrive as who I am, and that in that moment, not who they're trying to mold me to be, not who they're trying to tell me to be, not who they're trying to squish me down to be. Like they just let me just be in their space in that moment as myself. And there's no judgment, there's no anger, I'm not met with an instant challenge, like, and realizing this, or having this safe space to exist in, I am being forced to look at myself and how confrontational I've become, because before I even realize it, I am ready for that battle, because that battle is the only thing I've ever known. I've always had to defend myself, literally, physically, emotionally, mentally. I have had to defend myself my whole life. From being in my mother's womb on, I have had to fight for life. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Sorry. Like I said, you guys are going to get real. So here we go. But being able to be around another person with their own thought process, their own emotions, their own life traumas, their own this and that, and still being allowed to be a fucking human being, has been one of the hardest things for me to process, because I don't understand it, because why aren't you yelling at me? Why aren't you telling me to shut up? Why aren't you telling me I'm wrong? Why? Like, that's what starts going in my head. Why? And like I just said as well, I have been allowed the space to see myself in a mirror. I I have not gotten a chance to look into yet. So I get what people, I finally am starting to comprehend what people were saying about, God, Janice, you're so aggressive, you're so masculine, you're so this, you're so that. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because instantly defensive without taking a moment to even fucking comprehend what they were saying. And they are absolutely right. They are 100% on point. I have went so far into my masculine that I have lost absolute control. And that's another hard thing, because I was living by the illusion I finally had control of my life. I was safe. I was making my choices. I was doing it. Me. And no, I wasn't. No, no, I wasn't. My traumatized self was still making all of my life choices for me. And that's something I think that we all battle with. Mental health issues, no mental health issues, it's just control. The human experience, we want to have control of stuff, and if we don't know, we fear what's not known. The scariest thing in the world is not knowing what comes next. That's what fear is. It's this line in life that, like, we're over here, here's fear, and here's what the other side that could be phenomenal, but we're too scared to cross this line because we can't see past it to know what's coming next, and we like to have control, and so I thought I did. I honest to God thought I had a sense of control in my life that no, I didn't. No, the F I did not. And coming to all those realizations, it was really hard. I spiraled bad one day. Like I started to go down my aggressive defensive line of whatever, and I caught that and I shut down completely, and I put myself in a room and just chilled out and tried to re-regulate. And then I brought what I was stewing on to that person that's allowing me the safe place, and they didn't invalidate me. They didn't tell me that I was being silly. They just took the time to understand where I was coming from. I can't even begin to explain it. I can't explain it, but I've definitely come to learn when there's not a person that already has it in their mind that they're out to destroy you. It's crazy how much space they actually allot you to just exist in their world, because they genuinely want you there. They actually find value in just your presence, and they want it because they like you and they like your energy, not because, they feel like they can get something from you, or they've got to squash you down and make you feel like less, because you feeling as confident makes them feel like less, so you have to be down here on this level. It's a totally different experience when they're not trying to constantly knock you down and actually allow you to just marinate and just exist and then, figure shit out. It was something I very much so needed in life, something that I knew was out there, but I'd never experienced, but I knew it had to be out there. And now I know for a fact it really is. I know that there are people out here who really aren't trying to destroy each other. And sorry, my nose is running because I started crying, so I apologize. I need to go blow my nose right quick. But there's people out here that really do care. They're hard to find because the majority of us have trauma, and we're letting our trauma run our lives without realizing it. Hurt people, broken people break people every goddamn day without realizing it. And a lot of times we internalize that without realizing that the person doing it is just pure projection of what's going on internally with them. And that's something that we struggle to differentiate through, and we struggle to comprehend and understand and work through, because we are taught from birth on that somewhere, somehow, it was our fault for making that person lose control. When at the end of the day, no, it's not. No, it's not. That person, whether they realize it or not, are making the choices to be who they are. And something that I have learned in my journey of healing is a lot of it's self-accountability. When are you going to be ready to look in that mirror and make that change? Because that's what it's about. And I have been trying to find this mirror that I have started looking at a couple days ago for quite some time. And I'm glad that I finally found somebody that held it up and said, "Ha, Janice, look. Without saying, haha, Janice, look. Because they didn't force me to look. They allowed me the space to be able to see it myself, to be able to turn and see the mirror and be like, oh, yeah, that's the role I play in all this. Okay. Yep, I get it. I got in touch with a very close friend who I was trying to tough love through stuff the way I tough loved myself. And I had to apologize the way that I was approaching her and trying to help her through anything, because that's not what she needed. She needed compassion. She needed love. She needed acceptance. She needed understanding. And I come to realize that literally every little thing that I was getting upset with her for, it had not one damn thing to do with her. Not one damn thing at all. It was me. I was getting mad at past versions of myself who didn't learn the lessons that she's on the journey and path to learn. And she wasn't learning them by my timeline. And so that was frustrating me. But it was being projected as to her. Like it was her. Why aren't you figuring this out? Like, you know better, and it had nothing to even do with that. And I had to tuck tail and apologize and admit my fault and my wrong in this. And she tried to, oh no, it's okay. And I'm like, babe, it's okay to hold me accountable. Like I was a shit friend. You can say it. Like, Janice, you were a shit friend. You should have done better. Coulda, shoulda, but I didn't. But I'm going to try with everything to give her every ounce of compassion and understanding that she needs. And in those moments in life when we need somebody to rip that Band-Aid off, I will happily pull it for her. But until it's time for that, I got to stop being so masculine and so aggressive. And I got to start thriving in my femininity and understand that it's okay. It's okay to be a person. It's okay to be human and have flaws. It's okay to mess up. And as much as I talk about this and I know this, my nervous system was not acknowledging the truth of it, and I was still fighting every ounce of it. And I'm still going to have my days. I'm not going to try to pretend like, oh, I got it all figured out now. I'm better. No, the fuck I'm not. No, I'm not. It doesn't happen that quick. That's a bullshit ass illusion. I know this is a journey. I know it's going to be a path. I know I'm going to have my rough patches. But I also know that now I see these things. There's no going back once you open your eyes to see something. You can blatantly choose to ignore it from that point on, but there's no going back. You can't be ignorant to it anymore. And I don't want to ignore it, and I sure as hell don't want to go back, because I want to keep evolving as a person. I want to keep growing. I want to find my internal safety that matches my external safety, and I need them to align and come together. And that's my personal life goal for me. And as long as I keep going, keep moving forward, keep taking the steps, keep looking around and finding the mirrors to self-evaluate and understanding what is my weight to carry and what is somebody else's weight to carry, I truly believe that I will get there, as will you. If you're on the self-healing journey as well, the trauma healing journey, you will get there. You will absolutely get there. One of the most important lessons I've learned in life is it's okay to not be okay. That is okay. Because we're not okay all the time. Perfection is a bullshit illusion that doesn't actually exist. It's not real. But what is real is messing up and being silly and hurting and getting angry and being happy and being sad and being excited and all of it. All of that's real, and all of us process it differently. And the hardest thing is to try to run or hide from it, and that's where we start making our mistakes. But with all that being said, I haven't been posting for the past couple of days because I had a lot of stuff internally to deal with before I could deal with the external world or even make a video. Like, I had stuff like running through my head, like, oh, this would be good, oh, this would be good, but it wasn't happening because I wasn't to a place where I was done dealing with me to be able to handle all of that. But here we are. We're back. We are gonna keep pushing forward. We're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep moving, because that's all we can do. That's all we can do. The worst thing you can do in life is stand still and be happy with standing right there, because that's not the experience we're supposed to have. We're supposed to live life. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to fumble. We're supposed to fall. We're supposed to piss people off along the way, because then maybe they'll take a moment and look at themselves and be like, why is this triggering me? Why is this making me so angry? Only people who are ready for that will do that. Other people will blatantly choose to ignore it and move on with their life, or pretend like they're moving on with their life when they're not. Anyhow, I'm getting off track. That's a whole other video. But I do want to apologize because I haven't been posting. I hadn't been doing what I needed to do. I hadn't been doing what I said I was going to do. And that That was another thing that I was struggling with. I had the goal to do it. I had goals to get videos out and push it, and I wasn't meeting those goals. And so I had to stop making goals, and I had to fix some shit inside of me before I proceeded on with this path. And now we're working on it, and we're continuing, and I'm taking that next step forward, and I'm gonna keep going, because the only people in our way is ourselves. Can't nobody stop us but us. So here I am, pushing myself a little bit farther. Luckily, with an experience with another human being, that it's definitely okay to not always be okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope you are having an amazing Monday. Mondays can suck. I have a name for every day of the week, but it's probably not for public consumption. They're not very friendly names. I did a lot of public service jobs, bartending, waitressing, cashiers. I've dealt with people my whole life. So I got some interesting, fun names for each day of the week. But hopefully you're having a beautiful Monday. Hopefully you're enjoying what little bit of content I have out so far. You have any ideas of stuff that you want my thoughts or opinions on or my feelings on, please leave it in a comment. Let me know, and I will make a video about it. I'll give you raw and real, right in the moment thoughts on it, emotions about it, whatever, my feelings, whatever. Just let me know if there's anything specifically that you want me to touch base on. And I will do my best to get that covered from my point of view. I hope you all have a beautiful week. Please keep an eye out for my next video. Who knows when I'm going to post it. I'm going to try to get another one done today, but if I don't do it, well, shit happens, life happens, and it doesn't mean I'm a failure, and it doesn't mean if you don't get something done that you plan to do, that doesn't mean you're a failure either. We're human. It's all part of it. It's okay to not be okay. You guys have a great day. Have an absolutely beautiful week, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.